Okay, this is the TPA video. I'm not sure what TPA stands for, but it's the amplifier for the IBU. I think it's 15 watt, but I'm not sure. This is the board. This one is an IBU Pro. What you do is the TPA. These are the pins where you plug in your receiver, your servo cables from your receiver. In front of them there's a row of pins right here, and all you do is just push the TPA down on it, and it just sits like that on top of your board. This one happens to be on a Pro, but it'll work with either the base or the Pro. On this one, I'm going to hope this shows up on camera. I can't see the screen for the camera right now, but anyway, on this one you can see it has two 3-pin connectors and two 2-pin connectors. The 3-pin connectors are for your volume switches, and the 2 pins are for the speaker. What the TPA does, in addition to boosting the power of your sound system, you can plug in 2 speakers, one for your engine sounds and one for your secondary sounds like gun and turret rotation and stuff like that. You do have to have 2 volume switches and 2 speakers. So I got one volume switch here and one volume switch here, and we've got 2 speakers. So we're going to fire this one up. I'm going to turn the engine sounds way down to make sure you can hear me over the sound of the engines. Now, this speaker right now is giving us our engine sounds. This speaker is doing nothing until I activate one of the secondary sounds. Now, in my tanks, the way I like to do it is I use one of these. This is a remote volume control, an RVC. RC Tanks Australia sells them as the Viper, and they're ridiculously easy to use. You have to have one of your channels on a pot. Alright, and this just simply plugs into your receiver, plugs straight into the receiver, and this end plugs into the board. I think these are best used with the base unit because you do need one of the extra channels, so you would need a 6-channel radio to use this. But then you can control your volume from the transmitter, and I've got a couple of my tanks already hooked up like that, so I'll demonstrate that part in a future video. But so right now I've got the 2 volume controls. This one is for engine sound. Turn that all the way down. And this is what I like with the remote volume control. I can I only use one RVC, even though I've got 2 different volume switches. I put it on the engine sound, so I can turn the engine sounds up or down from the transmitter. That way, if there's something going on with my tank and I want to be able to hear it when it's running, I can turn the engine sounds all the way down. The secondary sounds aren't active until you activate them, so they're quiet all the time anyway. So if the tank was running, now that track noise that you hear is part of the secondary sounds, but notice there was no engine sound. So you've got separate volume controls, and like I said, if you do go with the remote volume control, you can control that one from the transmitter. I'm going to turn that all the way down right now, and we'll test all the secondaries. Now that's coming out of this speaker only. This is this speaker only. This one is our engine sounds. Now I'm going to adjust the volume on that one. And that's how the TPA works. It's pretty easy. Listen, I've got one of these boards in my 1/6 scale Hetzer, and I'm using the TPA amp. And into those 2 speaker ports I have plugged in 2 4-inch 4-ohm speakers in a custom-made wooden box. And with the engine sounds turned up about 80 to 90%, I can hear that tank from a block away. It's just, this little amp just amazes me. And for the 15 bucks, I think it's well worth it. But like I keep saying, you got to have 2 speakers and 2 volume controls. You should already have 1 in your tank anyway. If somebody needs one, I might have a few extra volume controls laying around, but they're not hard to come by. You can get them online for like 4 bucks. So anyway, that's the TPA video. That's how easy it is to use. You just plug it onto the board, plug your 2 speakers in, plug your 2 volume controls in, and you're off to the races. It's I personally, I will run a TPA on every IBU board that I have, and of the ones that I have now, the ones that are for sale, don't get me wrong here, I intend to keep as many as I can for myself, because I love these boards. It's the only board I like better than this is the ASP, and that is also no longer in production. If Kevin does start making more, I'll buy as many as I can afford, because they're great boards. So that's the TPA video. I hope it was helpful, and we'll see you next time.